Stay tuned for a meeting of the City of Calabasas Commission. The meeting will be broadcast using Zoom and the city's CTV Channel 3. Commission members may teleconference into the meeting without noticing or posting an agenda at their teleconference location. Besides the live TV and Zoom broadcast, the live stream of the meeting may be viewed online at cityofcalabasas.com/CTV Live. If you want to provide public comment, press Raise Hand if you're using Zoom or *9 if you're joining by phone. Just unmute yourself by pressing *6. Say your name and the city you live in. You'll be allowed 3 minutes to address the Commission regarding any item in the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. If the power or internet goes out lasting more than 15 minutes, or if there's some event that prevents the Commission from meeting or prevents you from providing public comment, then the meeting will be adjourned. Any items noticed as public hearings will be rescheduled to the next regular Commission meeting. Any other agenda items the Commission has not taken action on will be placed on a future agenda. Now, a meeting of the City of Calabasas Commission.
Arvin, are we ready?
Go.
Very good. Thank you very much. Welcome all. This is the Tuesday, February 28th meeting of the Traffic and Transportation Commission. I'm Peter Valk, Chair of the Commission, your loyal servant, and look forward to a hearty discussion amongst the Commission this evening. To begin our evening, we have a few opening matters. And the first is a roll call of the Commission. And you'll have to bear with me since there are many new commissioners. And I hope I get pronunciations correct. Again, I'm Peter Valk, Chair of the Commission. Is Commissioner, is it Castle or Cassell? How do you pronounce your name, Richard?
Oh, Castle, sorry.
Castle, thank you very much.
That's me.
Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your investment of your time and thoughts regarding our wonderful city. Thank you. Next, our next commissioner visiting us and involving himself for the first time is Mike Pashai.
Perfect.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. 2 for 2. And I have a Commissioner Heath Patton.
Yes, hello, Chairman. Heath Patton here.
Very good, thank you. And going to the veterans on the commission, Commissioner Sperling Wright.
Here.
And Commissioner Sperling Wright's furry assistant, what is your name?
Misty, and I cannot get rid of her. I do not know why for the past week. She is determined to be on my lap. I have no idea why.
It's because we're in the longest stretch of cold weather in Los Angeles's history.
Oh, well, that might actually be. That might actually
be the
be
heat of a human body. So with that scientific observation, looking for our student commissioner. Let's see who's here this evening. It looks like Commissioner Tabanday.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's available for the meeting this evening.
He's
Very
on
good.
the
Thank you very
attendees list.
Excuse
He
me?
was trying to log in, have the same difficulty that I had, so he should log in later on.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'd like everyone to join Commissioner Sperling and Misty in the saying of our national anthem. Jason, because of Misty's predisposition, you don't need to stand up.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
those, please place your right hand over your heart and repeat after Commissioner Sperling Wright.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to
to the
the
flag
Flag of the United
States
States,
United States of America,
and
to the republic
to
which
the
it
which
stands,
stands
with
one
liberty
one
nation,
nation,
with
under
liberty
God,
and justice.
indivisible,
with liberty and
liberty
justice.
and justice for all. Thank you very much, all of my fellow commissioners, and I welcome you to our close-knit family. We look forward to your hearty involvement. I'd like to thank those commissioners who have given service to the city over the last several years who are no longer on the commission, and that includes Jill Schechter, Jacques Soriano, and Matt Houzenet. We thank them very much for their service to the city, and I know we can count on them to gather their opinions and ideas as members of our community, not in their official capacity on the commission, but look forward to their continued involvement. The next item under opening matters is announcements and introductions, and we already covered the new commissioners. And this is a part on the commission agenda where announcements can be made. However, the commission will not be taking up any action or discussion on those announcements this evening. Any items qualifying for further consideration will be directed towards staff for possible inclusion on future agenda items. So with that, I'll poll my fellow commissioner. Mike, do you have any announcements or introductions? You're on mute, Mike.
Oh,
There you go.
well, announcement, I'm not sure what you mean by having an announcement.
Let's say you're involved with a civic organization that is having an event that's of a community-wide interest. That would be an announcement.
Well, no, not at this moment. No, I don't have any announcement.
Thank you. Do any of my fellow commissioners have announcements or introductions? Hearing none, we'll move forward. The next item is the approval of the agenda. I'm assuming everybody received the agenda, both delivered by an email and by print copy. Anna, thank you very much for double covering us there. And that kind of attention to our commission's needs is most appreciated. So with that, I'll ask for approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Item motion made, second occurred. Any discussion on the matter? Hearing none, all those who approve all those who approve the agenda, please indicate so by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried unanimously. The next item is the approval of our meeting minutes from November 22nd. And Jason, it's you and me.
I know.
You're the
I
only
was
one.
going to say, well, I read through them and they seem to be what I have down. So I would motion to approve.
Okay, point of order, Anna or Robert, since it's only two members of the commission that are eligible to vote on this, does this qualify as a legitimate action? Or do we need a quorum of the commission?
I can mention, since the commissioners are no longer commissioned, the two of you will be sufficient to proceed with this matter.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that very important legal analysis. Thank you. The next item is public comment. This would be, again, items that we direct to our residents to offer comments on matters that are not agendized tonight, which you can bring forward to the commission for presentation. But as I said earlier, items on the agenda, not on the agenda, are not open for discussion by the commission. So we welcome your thoughts, presentation of comments, but recognize that the commission will not entertain discussion of the matter this evening. So with that, Anna, are there are there any members of the public that are wishing to speak to public comment?
No, sir, I do not see anybody at this time. We have attendees, but nobody has raised their hands to speak at this time.
Very good. So Anna, do our participants, our resident participants, know the process for indicating how they can participate on an agenda item?
Yes, if they wish to speak, it's like any other council action. If they wish to speak on the item, they can just let me know or let us know what item they wish to comment on. They have 3 minutes to comment. And they cannot really speak on anything other than the agendaized items.
Okay, and just to refresh everyone's memories, that when you're asked to speak on a agenda item, as Anna just mentioned, you have 3 minutes. Anna will give you the red, yellow, and green indication of your time allotment. And we ask that you give your name and your address of residence or business within the city of Calabasas.
Oh, sir, I'm sorry, Chair Volk, it's no longer that's required. It's just state their name and state the city of residence.
Okay, so no longer the address.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. With that item, we'll move to our agenda items. We have 4 agenda items this evening. I'll go over them very quickly. Mulholland Highway Improvement Project, which is a workshop and presentation, the citywide Green Street project. Third is a transit service update. And the fourth is the request to form a subcommittee to address our alternate student member position. With that overview, I'm assuming, Tatiana, that you're taking up the first item on our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first item on our agenda is the workshop and presentation on the Mulholland Highway Improvements Project, Phase 2. And joining us tonight, we have Michael Abe and Sam Potts with MNS Engineers. That's our engineering consultant that are working on the design of this project. And I would like to turn it to them for a presentation. And Michael and Sam and city staff will be available after the presentation to take your input, comments, and answer your questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So let me see if I can share with my screen. Hopefully you can see, excuse me, the PowerPoint presentation.
Affirmative, yes.
Great. Okay, so thank you, and thank you, the commissioners, for inviting us to speak on this project. I'm going to provide an overview of this Mulholland Highway Improvement Project. There you go. Oh, hold on. Sorry, let me. I have to grab the right presentation. That did not look right.
I'm going to give a quick apology to all of you. I need to be drinking massive amounts of water today, so I don't mean to disrupt the flow, but I'll be chugging a little water during the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me, like I say, we're going to be talking about this Mulholland Highway Improvement Project. So after phase 1, where there's phases 2 and 3, and it really depends on what funding is available. The phases 2 and 3, they as far as the limits, it starts in the southerly city limits on Mulholland Highway and goes north to Old Topanga Canyon Road west. Some of the landmarks would be the Wild Walnut Park Dog Park, which is at the corner of Old Topanga Canyon West, as well as the Viewpoint School, which is within that stretch of road. The goal for the phases 2 and 3 is to improve the safety of this corridor and provide additional capacity at the Viewpoint School, and also to preserve the scenic corridor. As even though we're doing improvements, we're going to make sure we understand we want to try to keep this scenic route. As far as the features of this project, improving the roadway shoulders and also improving the roadway section. As you see, there's on this picture, some of the shoulders are quite steep.
Michael, can you let us know where these photographs are taken, their direction, compass direction, and general location, please?
Sure. This picture is probably just north of Dry Canyon Road, going back down toward. So it's facing north as you're going north. But I think in general, I mean, this is a typical of the roadway shoulders that's present in the. Other features. This is at the Viewpoint School. This is Mulholland facing looking southbound at the driveway entrance of Viewpoint. And part of this project, we're going to be adding a new northbound. So coming towards us, northbound right turn lane, and that's going to require a caisson retaining wall to make that happen. We also are going to increase the southbound left turn lane lengths at Dry Canyon Cold Creek Road. Just again to help the through traffic as people are trying to get in and out of the school. And another part of this project is again safety as far as stabilizing the hillside slopes and limiting the slough off and the debris onto the roadway. I believe this is looking north, near the southerly limits. I guess you guys probably pretty familiar with it, but there's definitely a real steep hillside here, and there's a lot of slough off with K-rail on the I guess east or right side of the road going northbound. So as far as stabilizing the hillside slopes, there are really 4 methods that we're going to be employing, and it depends on the hillside geology and as well as the space that's available for these types of treatments. So you'll see there's shotcrete, which is the purple dots, which is more on the southerly section. That's where the real steep hillside on either side is located. There's also areas where we'll be doing a Teco wire netting, and those are shown on the red dots as far as the locations. And the yellow, we're doing some erosion control matting. They're actually the turf reinforced mats that we'll be putting in this in those areas in the yellow. And lastly, and the green indicates where we're going to regrade to just make those slopes not as steep, so that there's less of erosion. We just wanted to show you a little bit of just far as what the proposed improvements would look like. This is, I believe, again, looking southbound. You see those K-rails again, but the idea is to do shotcrete on either side of this to stabilize the hillside in this location. As far as at the Viewpoint School, this is the layout, the proposed layout. You'll see that there's the lengthened southbound left turn lanes, as well as the right turn pocket. And you notice there's a leader as far as the retaining wall that's needed adjacent to the school to make this happen. As far as construction costs, we split into 3 segments. one from the southerly city limits to Turtle Creek, from Turtle Creek to Dry Canyon, Cold Creek Road, and then from there to Old Topanga Canyon Road West. Might be the next slide kind of shows you kind of pictorially where these costs would be as far as the 5.4 million and so forth, as far as where they would be spent. As you notice, 6.7 is the highest, and that's near the Viewpoint School, where there needs to be a lot more work there. So the next step is to develop some priorities as far as improvements, because we do have limited funds, and then develop the phases depending on how much funds are available. As far as schedule, we're working to try to get the phase 2 package out this summer. We're doing the design and also the environmental clearance as we speak. And depending on what the city chooses as far as the priorities and the locations, then we'll bid that package out. And that's it as far as questions and any other questions. I suppose Tatiana is the city PM as far as contact.
Very good. Thank you very much. Very useful and great to hear update on this phases 2 and 3. Tatiana, to close up the presentation part of this, can you elaborate a little bit on timing of securing funds and final design and construction and completion? 4 different items.
Absolutely, absolutely. As Michael mentioned, we're working on the design right now, and with your inputs and comments today, we will continue working on that, and we'll be going towards the final design. But at the same time, we're working on the environmental documentation, and we're currently reviewing draft M&D, mitigated negative declaration. And that process may take some time to go through all the reviews and required approvals, public reviews and approvals. While we're doing that, we're also trying to secure more funds to complete this project. We do have available money from phase 1, but that's not going to be even near enough to complete all the stretch of Mulholland Highway. And we are applying for other grants. Today, Treya worked on submittal of application for the RAISE grant. So hopefully we'll hear from them. So basically based on that, on what money we'll have available and when, and the completion of environmental documents, we will have construction in fiscal year 24-25.
So that would be no earlier than July 1, completed by June 30, 25.
Correct.
Okay. Just to close up on this clarification, then I'll open it up for questions. What percent of final design are we at?
We're at about 60% design right now.
And then on the environmental mitigated MND?
We're reviewing the draft MND.
Is that a document that the commission will see before it's forwarded to council?
It has to go through all kinds of reviews, but yes, we will have a next presentation. Yes, we will update you on the project progress, and at that time we can give you more information on that.
Okay, very good. So I'd like to open up this workshop. Do we need to officially open and close the workshop, Anna?
My apologies, it took me a bit to unmute my mic. We've already had the presentation and answer, so yeah, we can open it up if anybody from the public wishes to speak or provide comment. If nobody,
So
I don't see anybody. Go
Why
ahead.
don't we do that? Well, excuse me. Why don't we open it up to the public before we as the commissioners speak to it? So Anna, would you open that up?
That's
for
what I was
public
just
comment?
saying. We can open it up for public comment now. Out of the attendees, I don't see anybody's hand raised as far as wanting to speak on the item. So I guess we could just take it to the commissioners now, and if anybody raises their hand or anybody else joins the meeting, we could give them that opportunity before we close.
On another point of clarification on public involvement, will residents of the city have any other opportunities to engage on this particular project going forward after the closure of the workshop?
It depends on any type of comments, anything that the commission asks to see or to review or be brought before we take it to council. So Tatiana would probably be able to answer that. I think, Tatiana, after we get comments or if there's anything we need to address, we can bring it back to the commission before council, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We will definitely do the project update at one of the future meetings. Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Well, Commissioner Castle and Commissioner Prasad, thank you for raising your hands. And I'll start with Richard. Please offer your comments and then we'll keep going throughout the commission. Thank you very much for engaging yourself.
I just a question about funding. When you say you apply for funding, who gives us the money to do this?
Well, currently we have Measure M money from the county. That's what we're doing the phase 1 with, and we will have some money available from that. We're also applying for the future Measure M allocations for this project. That's Los Angeles County. And today we applied for the RAISE grant, which is the federal money, if we're successful.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Mike?
Good evening, Mike Pashai, and thank you so much for the presentation. I have one question because I live close by that intersection of Old Topanga and Mulholland. Is there going to be any modification, because I didn't see in the plan, on that three-way intersection? Because usually it's a little bit, jams up, in traffic-wise. And I saw some work going on the corner of that. Is there anything going on or proposed to be done on that corner?
You're referring to the current project, phase 1, yes, and there is work going on. There is improvements at the corners, and that intersection will be signalized.
At Old
That's the
Topanga
biggest
and
improvement.
Mulholland.
Yeah, it is already has signal.
No,
Oh, you're talking about the east intersection of Old Topanga.
Yes, I mean where Old Topanga meets Mulholland Highway, and let's say you're sitting on Old Topanga, especially when you want to turn right, that's where the traffic kind of backs up usually. And I saw some work going on. I didn't know if it's part of phase 1 or 2, and or what exactly is going to happen there, because
It is phase 1, and the scope of work is similar to what was presented for phase 2. There are shoulder improvements, and also there will be a crosswalk, but it will be on the east leg of the intersection, and the sidewalk that will continue to Wild Walnut Park. But yes, there are shoulder improvements, and yeah, it will be improved, and with the signal adjustment and new timing with the pedestrian phase, there will be some improvement.
to tag on to that real quickly, Tatiana, and Mike, to elaborate, a signal is being installed at Wild Walnut Park at Old Topanga and Mulholland. There'll be a signal that's part of phase 1, and it's all the infrastructure construction is well underway for that. Correct, Tatiana?
That is correct.
Question on the intersection that Mike was referring to at Mulholland and the eastbound Old Topanga. Currently, it's not a free right turn onto Old Topanga, but rather a stop right turn. Will that be modified when the sidewalk is installed?
That right turn will still be there with the stop. However, with the timing, there will be the stop bar at the intersection where the crosswalk is. So that's where it will be relocated. And with this new phasing, that right turn will improve.
I'd like you and your colleagues to keep an eye on that, because it'll be a new traffic control device, basically, with various at that intersection. And if we are fortunate enough that people will be walking in the sidewalk, it'll be a new feature for them, and they will need to pay more attention to vehicles making that right turn. Correct?
Yes, correct. Thank you, Peter, for additional information.
Okay, thank you. So continuing on, let's see, Jason, do you have any questions or comments?
Only if you could go back one slide to the timeline, if that's possible, because I was a little confused. There were timelines that went out to 2025, and then there was this phase 2 timeline. Phase 1 is being worked on right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right.
Correct. With the funding that's available from Measure M from phase 1 construction, we're trying to prioritize, and we'll see what we can do to include in phase 2, such as some slope stabilization at the critical locations. And we will use that available money from Measure M that we can schedule for phase 2.
Right.
And then the next majority of work will go to 24-25. So this is phase 2 timeline, and we're talking about phase 2 and 3.
Okay, got it. And so the August-September construction is for phase 2 only, which it says there. And okay, and so Peter was asking about phase 3. My questions are answered. Thank you, Peter.
Welcome. Heath, do you have any comments or questions on this item?
Actually, I do, Peter. Thank you. Tatiana, what is the capital raise we're looking to get from the Reyes grant in terms of dollars?
We applied. I know Treya is here on our meeting, and she was working on the application, did a great job, so she can give us details on that application. Treya, could you please join us?
Yeah, so we applied for $11.6 million to make up for the missing money from Measure M with the current cost estimate that we have for the 60%. And we are expected to find out if we got it June 28th of this year.
Got it. Just understood.
Sorry.
Thank you for that. So the Reyes grant is going to fill a 40% void, while the Measure M grant fills 60%?
It's about, yes. Some of it's a lot of the timelines just kind of make it hard to do that percentage.
Right.
But that sounds about right.
Yeah. But okay, got it. So the majority of the money, as indicated, Tatiana, you indicated earlier, comes from the Measure M from LA County, and the Reyes is going to be supplemental financing, so to speak.
Correct.
Understood. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heath. I really appreciate my fellow new commissioners engaging themselves right on in our first item. Thank you very much. So Treya and Tatiana, I have a couple of comments and questions. The first is for you, Treya. Have we applied for any SB1 money, statewide monies that you're seeing advertised throughout the state as supporting projects? Is that part of the Reyes grant, or is that a different source of funds?
It's a different source of funds. SB1, I believe, is state, correct, Tatiana?
Correct.
And raises DOT, the federal DOT. I'm not sure about the status of SB1. I know that we have some funding that we've used for that, but I don't know about for this project. I know mostly about the raise.
And all of the monies get appropriated by Metro, whether it's local money, federal or state. They are the clearinghouse and an allocation mechanism for funds, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so a couple of questions I have. I'm sorry, anybody else on the commission have any questions? I think I've polled everyone. First is on the shotcrete, the walls that are being proposed have a nice rural, rustic, loose look to them. Is there any plans for any way for any green aspects, living green aspects, to emerge through that wall to soften it? That's question one.
I will refer to M&S for answer to this question. I know we don't have renderings, but there is information.
Yeah, I believe for the shotcrete, you know, it's going to be also held with the soil nails, so that piece is going to be impervious, so it's going to be difficult to install any kind of living green type of features for at least for that type of soil stabilization.
Okay, couple of things. Another one on greening, and this may fall more in the aesthetic aspect of it. And Michael, I'm not sure if that's in you own that issue, or is it Tatiana? Would it be possible for at the final completion of it that plantings above it be trailing, so they hang over the shotcrete without disturbing the impervious nature of the wall?
The issue with planting for this project would be the irrigation. And although there might be native plants that don't need a lot of water, however, for the establishment, for that period of the vegetation to take roots, it needs to be watered, and that's going to be problematic. We can take a look and see what other areas we can possibly implement that with native, with minimal watering, and we can take a look and see what areas can be designed like that.
Please do so, because that area now is very unstable, but in the unstableness of it, you have soil and you have green, and that together they offer a softer look than the solid wall. So just throwing my aesthetic sense in there, and if you could look at whether there's a way to have plantings which don't require artificial irrigation. Okay.
Will do.
Okay. Second, another question is the how is, and Michael, this is a question for you. How is drainage handled on the wall? As we all know, that area and most slopes have a lot of inherent drainage that occurs during the course of the rare but overwhelming water events we have. And how is drainage handled? Are there means of drainage on this coming through the surface of the wall, or does it only evacuate the slope at the bottom of the wall?
I think in general these walls are not, I mean, okay, so they're impervious, but behind it, you know, there usually is what do you call it, a pervious backfill portion, and there would be drains and so forth, so that the water can get out. The other areas, you know, we are going to have terrace drains and so forth. So as part of the design, we definitely are aware of the drainage to make sure that, you know, we provide the adequate drainage facilities so that, again, it doesn't just run off on the wall and onto the wall.
Yeah, the whole purpose of the wall is to hold the hillside back, and the hillside remains tentative when it's soaked with water and wants to slope down. So yes, thank you very much. I'm not an engineer, but I've been in practice with many for many years, so I'm asking that question. Thank you. That's all of my questions on that item. Thank you, Tatiana. Are you looking for action from us this evening on this matter?
No, for this item, we were just presenting it to you and gathering your comments and inputs.
Very good, thank you.
Thank
Last
you.
call for questions or comments from my fellow commissioners. Hearing none, we'll close this item, close the workshop, and move on to item number 2, which is the citywide Green Street project, Las Virgenes Road, Thousand Oaks Boulevard roundabout. Tatiana, are you handling this item?
We'll have our associate engineer, Anna Haratunian, to present this item.
First of all, Sam, thank you for joining us this evening.
Sam and Michael, thank you.
Yes.
Good evening, Chair, Commissioners, rest of the participants, and all the committee members. I will share my screen. I hope you can see my screen.
No, we can't.
Not yet.
Now we can.
Here it comes.
You're good.
All right. So I'll start with a little introduction on Green Street projects. The Green Street project's main achievement is to utilize engineered green infrastructure, otherwise known as Green Street BMPs, as you can see in the pictures below, to capture stormwater runoff at earlier stages of its flow to slow, clean, and filter the water before releasing it to Malibu Creek and neighboring stormwater systems. We will, however, use Green Street project as an opportunity to address and improve traffic conditions in the areas with the potential to be converted to Green Street. This project will be composed of 2 phases. Phase 1 will target improving Norton Las Virgenes Road, Murrow Road, and Calabasas Road. Phase 2 will be construction of the roundabout at the intersection of Thousand Oaks Boulevard and Las Virgenes Road. This is the Norton Las Virgenes Road, which means from Mount Calabasas Drive all the way to the Norton City's right-of-way limits. You can see it in the sketch of the design, the location of this phase of the project. To walk you briefly through the design, cul-de-sac will be built at the northern terminus of the roadway. The unpaved shoulder along the Las Virgenes Road will be paved and striped for parking. Refuge islands will be built in between the designated parking areas and the actual roadway to help protect the pedestrians that choose to move around this area. And crosswalks will be striped to help pedestrians to cross over from designated parking areas across the road to the apartments. Exits and entrances are designed to be very close to each other for an easy access in and out from the designated parking areas. Trails will be improved and extended to give hikers the opportunity to hike all the way from Mount Calabasas to the upper Las Virgenes Canyon open space, which is an access to Simi Trail network. It will open and provide efficient exit and entrances to the emergency roadways designated for emergency vehicles to access the hillside. The Calabasas Road portion, this is approximately 11,000 square foot area located adjacent to the West Calabasas Road within property addressed at 24439 Calabasas Road and the actual roadway. The proposed infiltration planter will provide storm water treatment as well as peak flow attenuation through storage and infiltration and absorption. This improvement will not impact traffic. West side of Maru Road, the proposed medians at Maru Road, close to the intersection of the Maru and Las Virgenes roads, will be placed within the existing yellow cross-hashed line area without impacting the width of the roadway or any of the existing traffic lanes. This is just an attempt in reducing impervious surfaces and contributing to the overall health of our watershed. Proposed medians provide stormwater treatment through filtration absorption. Stormwater is captured and treated via filtration through the soil media and root zone through the planted vegetation before entering the perforated pipe at the bottom of the planter and discharging back to the storm drain system. So the phase 2 of this project will concentrate on building a roundabout at the intersection of Los Virgenes Road and Thousand Oaks Boulevard. A quick summary on the existing traffic operation in this intersection. The collected data from March 2022 shows that AM peak is the heaviest in terms of vehicular traffic, heavy southbound through and westbound left movements. During PM peak hours, heaviest vehicular movements are westbound left and northbound right traffic, which are not contradicting movements and create most preferable condition for building a roundabout. In terms of bicyclists and pedestrian traffic, PM peak hours are heaviest. Through traffic operation analyses ran by GHD, which is a well-established private roundabout design firm well-known in the industry. Results show a single lane roundabout is sufficient since the level of service is a grade A and above A. And even with 1% projected growth rate, traffic will still operate within grades A and B. As shown with the results from SIDRA, current existing westbound left movement queues about 20 or more vehicles versus 8 to 10 vehicles, even with the projected growth rate with the roundabout intersection. What this basically translates to is, as shown on the synchro simulation, is a significant reduction in delays and a smooth flow without stoppage as vehicles approach the intersection. Current situation has the highest average delay. Roundabout also improves the intersection safety. And because the current intersection has 32 conflicting points, whereas the roundabout has only 8 conflicting points. Moving on to the design of the roundabout, current preliminary design of the roundabout considers fast path design, encourages significant slowdown at the approach to the intersection by design. It considers truck turning capabilities and a stopping sight distance at the entrance during the circulatory moves at the crosswalks and overall intersection. Design will also be reviewed by multiple consultants for performance, efficiency and performance and effectiveness. And with that said, I conclude my presentation.
Thank you very much, Anna. Appreciate the participation. Anna, Anna Ford, do we have any members of the public who would like to speak on this topic?
Actually, yes, we have 4 people that have their hand raised.
So would you please call them in the appropriate order?
Sure. So currently I have Joanne Suara. Joanne, I'm going to allow you to talk. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead. Oh, you need to unmute yourself, Joanne.
Okay,
Joanne, thank you very much for being with us this evening.
this is Joanne's husband, John. And,
You too, John. Thank you.
Okay, John.
oh, and thank you very much for the presentation. The question I have, I've got a lot of interest in this roundabout. I guess the last time I went and I actually did a personal survey of the traffic going through that roundabout when the city's original survey was done on a Saturday morning. And that didn't seem to be too representative of when the real traffic is there. So it was good to hear you say that the traffic is really on in a major traffic that goes through that intersection coming off of Thousand Oaks Boulevard is in the morning from the traffic returning from Lupin Hill School. And that's where the congestion starts. Now, the other thing that is of interest to me is exactly what is going to be done to ensure pedestrian safety. Because there are a lot of pedestrians that cross that street. They go across down from the apartments, the Malibu Canyon apartments. They go south across Thousand Oaks Boulevard. Some of them end up crossing over to the other side of Las Virgenes Road, and they'll go over to the bus stop that's over on that corner. And then you also have the stores that are there. So I'm wondering how the pedestrians are going to be accommodated. There was some discussion the last time around about traffic signals for the pedestrians, that they could push a button and it would stop the traffic. And then it was decided not to implement that when the original roundabout was approved, probably about 5 years ago now. And and then that of course was not built because of there wasn't enough funding. Because when the contractor bids came in, they were all well above budget. So I was wondering, to avoid some of these problems, that do some design on the pedestrian and the lights and things like that to ensure that pedestrians are safe at that intersection. There's a lot of traffic that goes through there. There'll be a lot of traffic coming down from the school in the morning. There's a lot of traffic going up to the school. And then there's a lot of traffic that comes out of the apartments going south on Las Virgenes Road. So you have all these interactions along with the pedestrians. Thank you very much. That's my comment, is I'd like to see more information on the safety.
Peter, we can't hear you.
Thank you, John and Joanne. Anna, would you call our next speaker, please?
Sure. Next speaker we have is Gary Burns. Mr. Burns, you have 3 minutes to talk. Can you please unmute yourself?
I just did. Hi,
Oh,
good
perfect.
evening.
Thank you.
Perfect. I got used to it after the last time. But you can't see me. I can see all of you, which I couldn't see last time. And this time, at least you can hear me. As you know, or may know, I'm the newly elected director on the board of Las Virgenes for Division 3, but really representing the entire area here. And it's interesting. As a citizen, I'll tell you that I'm not thrilled with the roundabouts, although I know Mr. Yalder loves them. I have seen too many of our citizens disregard the yielding, but that's a whole nother issue of all the traffic and transportation. I've been working with the sheriff to try and create some situation where our homeowners are well aware that they need to slow down. The children in our area are their own children. And I always tell people that the second you close your car door, you're now a pedestrian. Stop going so fast. But we can't seem to stop them. Secondarily, listening to the idea of saving all this water, as you very well know, now that we've had all this rain, I'll take a little bit of credit when I was campaigning last year. I told people, if you elect me, I'll try to make it rain. And I fulfilled my campaign promise in the first month. So probably the only politician to ever do that, but I'm not a real politician. But I'd like to see Las Virgenes help you in what you're doing in terms of collecting this water. Los Angeles is trying. There are over $300 million that hasn't been spent yet on doing this. I'm sure you've all seen the news. And in terms of that, I could see where we would love to put some signage up that LVMWD has helped to save this water. I think it's very important. I think it's important. I've spoke about it on the board that we are already doing some of this down Calabasas Parkway and wherever else we have done it. And I'm sure you're using our recycled water. So anything I can do to be of help, that would be great. And I think the advertisement is good for both the city and for Las Virgenes. So I'm available anytime anyone wants to call on me. My phone number is up there, and I'm available all the time. And very happy to be helping with us saving water.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you for the rain.
You're welcome. I'll keep it up.
Thank you. Anna, would you please call our next participant?
Our next participant is Barbara Gewert. Ms. Gewert, can you unmute yourself? There you go. Hi, you have 3 minutes.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So I'm Barbara Gewert. I am the HOA president of Mont Calabasas. We're super excited to see this project back on the agenda. We were originally, I guess, looking at this project back 5-6 years ago, and then, as someone else mentioned, it kind of stopped because of funding. I just have a couple of basic questions. I would say, as a general comment, we are in support of this. I will tell you, as an individual going through that intersection at Las Virgenes Road and Thousand Oaks Boulevard, I probably go through that intersection 5 to 10 times a day on an average day. And lots of days I feel like I'm taking my life in my hands. The traffic coming from Lupin Hill is pretty bad in the morning. People tend to try to avoid the making the left-hand turn onto Las Virgenes Road by crossing over across Thousand Oaks Boulevard, doing U-turns in the middle of the road. This is all great that we're looking at this. A couple of basic questions I have, just because these are things that people in our neighborhood are going to want to know. The first is, what, assuming that this project moves forward, what are we talking about in terms of timing? What would be the estimated start and completion date of the project? How long would the project last? And then, obviously, from our perspective, we're kind of locked in because we're in Mont Calabasas and we're at the end of the road. I'm assuming that there would be plans made during construction so that traffic can continue to flow in that area. So we would want to make sure that we understand that. And then the last thing would be, in terms of covering the cost of the project, where is the funding from this project going to come from? And that's basically it. I do have one other question, because there was mentioned, I didn't realize that this project was going all the way down to Muro Road. I don't know what people know about Muro Road and Las Virgenes Road, but there are a lot of accidents at that intersection. It's a really, really bad intersection there. We have 2 people in our neighborhood whose cars were totaled at that intersection trying to go through. So it seems like more frequently we're having more and more accidents there. So is anything going to be done there in terms of improving the safety of that intersection as well? Because I'm sure you probably have the statistics on that, about how many cars just fly through that intersection.
Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate your involvement in the project. And Tatiana, could you answer those few questions that Barbara had and clarify them?
Certainly. Let's start with the timeline and the funding. We do have money from Measure M and Prop 1 for this project, and it's fully funded. And we're looking at doing phase 1 of this Green Street project this year and phase 2 next year. For the intersection at Muro and Las Virgenes, we're constantly looking at how we can optimize that. We already looked at the traffic signal timing, and it is optimized. We are we'll be doing some improvements for our ITS, which is Intelligent Transportation System. That's one of the future projects, but unfortunately it's for the future, it's 24-25, again, fiscal year 24-25 we're talking about. So we will look at the Las Virgenes corridor. But with this project, with the Green Street, the improvements on Muro with the median on Muro, that will help also. I know you're talking mostly about the northbound, southbound traffic, but once we'll have this intersection improved and a little bit of beautification, that actually helps visually to slow traffic. But again, with that project, we'll see, we'll relook at the traffic, the signal timing there.
Thank you, Tatiana. Let's poll the commission. Oh, I'm sorry. Anna, are there any other members of the public that would like to speak to this? I believe there's one more.
Yes, Chair, we actually have two. The next is Joe Chilko.
Hi, I'm
Hi,
Joe
Joe.
Chilko. I'm a longtime resident, and full disclosure, I am currently a public safety commissioner. So that's where my focus is. I'm interested in stats on vehicle accidents at that location, that intersection already, stats on pedestrian accidents, whether they involve vehicles hitting pedestrians or whatever the nature is. I'd be very interested in hearing that. You mentioned that there are 8 conflict points with the roundabout, whereas there's 32 with the existing. So same question that John Sawar posed. How do pedestrians cross the intersection? How is that going to be accomplished safely? I think that roundabouts rely on courtesy. And as the last speaker just pointed out, there's very little courtesy going on at this intersection from the traffic coming from Lupin Hill. Everybody seems to be in a big hurry. And it is similar to a situation that occurs over at AC Still, where there are also roundabouts. There's a roundabout on Paul Revere that is the one that is nearest to Mulholland Highway. And in that case, the first roundabout now has stop signs everywhere. And I suspect that's because of a lack of courtesy. So I'm concerned about that aspect of it, is how we're going to avoid more accidents. And also in emergency evacuation situations where people tend to panic and courtesy goes out the window, how is having a roundabout at this location going to improve that situation? I was wondering, anytime you put something in a roadway that wasn't there before and it's got a concrete aspect to it, well, that's something that a vehicle can come into contact with. So I'm wondering what kind of lighting or reflective surfaces are you going to put on them to try to warn people off hitting them? A technical question, and you may be absolutely correct, but you're making reference to LOS, and the current standard is VMT. So I'm wondering why you're not using the current standard in that case, but it may just be a technicality. And that's all I have. Thank you very much for the opportunity to comment.
Joe, thank you for being with us this evening. Tatiana, you want to take on Joe's shopping list of very important questions?
First of all, just to address a little bit pedestrian safety, This roundabout is designed with, or, this is preliminary design, that's what we're designing for crosswalks at or for legs at the intersection. And the crosswalks are moved a little bit further from the roundabout, from the major movements, vehicular movements. And they're also designed with the refuge islands and the angled crossing. So that's very safe for a pedestrian in terms of where we're looking at the line of sight for the pedestrian, any other obstructions for the pedestrian while we're designing that. Another aspect worth mentioning here, that is totally different geometrical situation, and the right-of-way width and allowed length of these intersections that, to compare it with the intersection at Paul Revere by A.C. Stell. This intersection is designed geometrically, engineering-wise, to slow traffic with the approach to this roundabout. We do have enough right-of-way and enough length to accomplish this at that intersection. In terms of, to answer hopefully I answer your question, in terms of the VMT and LOS, yes, the VMT is the current standard per CEQA. This is required for traffic analysis. The city is still using a level of service for analysis of the operations at the intersection. So, and especially for designing such improvements in the intersection like this ones, we're using the LOS. We're looking at the LOS level of service.
Tatiana, thank you for your elaboration on responding to Joe's questions. And Anna, you mentioned that we have a fifth member of our residents who'd like to speak to this.
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, there is, can't read this name here, so I'm just going to ask you to state your name, the city that you reside in, and if you can please unmute yourself.
My name is Jennifer Bennett and I live in Calabasas.
Thank you.
I just had one question. I'm trying to understand how the pedestrians cross in this roundabout. I can see how the cars maneuver, but not the pedestrians. And I had a question slash suggestion about whether or not it would be possible to have an X shape through the middle of the roundabout in order for pedestrians to crisscross the street.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any further questions or comments for the commission?
No.
Okay, very good. Tatiana, do you have or Anna, is there a way you could enlarge the geometric representation to show where the pedestrian crossings are, at least thought will be put? It's not a final design. We understand that. If you could use your cursor to show us generally where the pedestrian crosswalk would be.
Let me unmute myself. For northbound, here are the white lines represent the crosswalk striping. For westbound, here they are. Southbound, here it is. And eastbound, this is the crosswalks designated for pedestrian crossing.
And in the middle is a refuge space, right?
Correct.
Let's say you're crossing and all of a sudden one of those drivers that Joe is referring to who weren't very courteous were coming through. The pedestrian could keep themselves safe in a refuge space, correct? If I use the roundabout at near Paul Revere, and the crosswalk is not at the edge line of the roundabout. It's back a few feet. So you're not standing, yes, you're in the vicinity of the roundabout, but you're not literally, your feet are not in the path of vehicle travel. And
Mr.
Anna,
Chair, may I offer an explanation? Number one, when you're approaching to roundabout, the road narrows. So the travel distance for pedestrian will be reduced. And since they're angled towards upcoming traffic, you're forced to look into what is coming to you. Then you walk to refuge area. Then you return and look at upcoming traffic from opposite direction. The difference between this location and Paul Revere, this is almost 3 times larger roundabout versus a circle that it was mentioned. The reason circle was put at those intersections, we had a lot of right angle accident. There is a diagram that shows clearly the difference between roundabout and 4-way passage or 4-way stop sign. We are trying to eliminate right angle accident. Those are the type of accident that create fatality. With roundabout, the accidents are in angle, so it will be more fender bender. What I would like to offer for individual, anybody, our citizen, commission, or public, if they would like, I'll be more than happy to host the half-an-hour meeting with them. They just call, make appointment. We will go over this design with them, show them what we are talking about. These are all result of study through ITE. We are hiring expert consultant who designed the roundabout, who's assisting our team, as it was mentioned. So at this stage, this is about 60% design. It will narrow the area that pedestrians need to cross. And this new roundabout will have crosswalk all 4 corners comparison to the last one that we had limited crossing. I hope I helped a little bit, but again, I'd be more than happy to make time. I know I'm short staffed and Tatiana and Anna are overwhelmed, but I can make time, go over this details with anyone. As Gary mentioned, I love roundabout. I don't consider myself expert, but the roundabout that I have built has saved a lot of lives and I'm proud of them and they add beauty to our city. So please make appointment with me. I'll be more than happy in my office to go over the detail with anyone who's interested, including our new commissioners on any project, not only this project. So I hope that helps.
thank you, Robert. Going to my fellow commissioner, it looks like Mike has his hand raised. Please, Mike, fire away.
Yes, thanks again for the presentation. I have questions in 2 parts. One has to do with, the first one is about the citywide Green Street project that we were talking about. And I'm just trying, being new to this, basically, traffic commission, I'm just trying to understand things. And my question is, what are the criterias and how this specific location has been chosen for these projects? Aren't there more qualified spots within city of Calabasas to do those kind of things? Because to me, especially in the business that I am, I'm driving around a lot around Calabasas. So, I think there are more qualified spots you can find, perhaps, that those projects could be implemented. Now, if someone can tell me how do they come to this, picking these places, that would be one question, number one for me.
And the second?
The second one actually has to do with this roundabout. Again, I'm trying to understand. I noticed that Anna in her presentation mentioned 8 points versus 32 points with the existing system that is going on. But has there ever been consideration of putting like a traffic lights with the normal traffic lights and all of that? Has there any comparison between these? Because This pedestrian things becomes a challenge for people. You know, I know Robert mentioned that it is a lot less, and I agree with you 100%. But with the traffic light, that pretty much is eliminated. But how does the data compares traffic light versus roundabout?
Thank you, Mike. Is that any further questions from you?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, Tatiana, do you want to respond to Mike, please?
Sure. To begin with, the locations for the Green Street projects. We're looking for the locations where there's a lot of impervious surface and the stormwater runoffs are needed to be treated. We have already implemented Green Street projects in the city. If you drive around through Malibu Hills Road, then you'll see the first phases of this project that were implemented. Their medians were constructed. They're doing exactly the same thing. They're capturing the first flash of storm water that needs to be filtered and cleaned. And that's what the similar projects are here. So talking about a Murrow Road, we don't have a lot of parkways and medians there, only in Los Angeles County, but not in within the city limits. So that was a great candidate, as well as Calabasas Road with the dealerships on one side, and there is a lot of traffic, cars bringing, trucks bringing cars to the dealership. So that's a great location to clean the first flash, the first stormwater runoffs. Las Virgenes project, again, it's a great location based on the surface drainage, how it drains from one curb to the other curb. It's a great location to capture and treat water there. So there might be other locations in the city, of course, and that's what we're doing. We started with Malibu Hills Road and we're proceeding with more locations.
Thank you, Tatiana. I can add into that. It was a combination of improving the streets based on installing median, visual, and landscape. It was not just looking into just capturing storm water. So the location that are chosen, it was citywide locations that has opportunity to have median, beautification, and street will be complete design. And those locations were chosen. That does not mean those are the only location we will do this type of green street. If you drive on Park Sorrento, for example, we capture water on the corners. If you drive on Mulholland Highway across from Gilson, we capture the water on the landscape that they are on the east side or across from Gilson, we capture water. So this project will be ongoing. This location had more qualification to build median, beautification, and a complete street. I hope that helps, and I let Tatiana continue her explanation for the next questions.
One further clarification, Tatiana. Mike asked the question about, what about a traffic signal?
Traffic signal was looked at. The roundabout is the best option for this intersection operation-wise. And as Anna had in her presentation, that synchro analysis with the traffic flow, you can see that there's no queues. The traffic moves smoothly. With the traffic signal, especially having this heavy movements on there's only two legs of the intersection, basically. It's not balanced intersection. So we're gonna hold all the traffic, but it's not balanced. So that the roundabout is, again, it's the best option.
Thank you. I have a few quick questions. When do you expect the contract for this to be posted and proposals solicited?
We're working on the bid package for phase 1 of this project. We're trying to advertise soon in the next few months. And for this phase 2 with the roundabout, we're looking at next year.
Thank you. Second question, is this area subject to temporary flooding? I think we're all familiar with that from last Friday.
This intersection is actually designed to drain pretty well. And we did not experience any flooding at this intersection. And that's, again, the way we're designing this roundabout, that's the ideal location for running this first flash of stormwater through this roundabout and clearing the water through the roundabout.
Two design issues. One, in the area near the cul-de-sac, it looks like there are some areas that will be used for parking. Is that correct?
You're talking about the Brittany Court here?
I'm talking about the area near the Las Virgenes trailhead.
Oh, okay. Yes, the design includes several areas for parking. There will be improved street parking as well as the off-street parking. We know that that area is really needs that, and we can see on a daily basis how many cars are just parked on the side of the road, on the dirt shoulder without any order. So that improvement, yes, includes. Anna, do you know how many parking spaces we're adding there?
I don't have the exact count, but I believe it's a little above 300 parking spaces.
Yeah, there's a lot of angle parking design, and that was purposely done so we can maximize the number of the parking in that area. You can see it in this sketch, all the red lines, they're not hashed, they are actually parking spaces.
Are the parking spaces intended to be used 24/7 for recreational users, for residents, or without limits?
Or both recreational and residential.
Will there be any type of curb management restrictions, time of day, length of stay, things like that?
Since it's right across from the residential area, no, there will be no restrictions so that they can park. And during the weekends, we'll see how it works for recreational purposes, how many people will be coming to use the trail. And
it looks like the area that's cut out would be a hard, impenetrable surface. The area to the right, with you have the linear parking spaces. Could any of these spaces be permeable?
Yes, all the parking areas, we're looking into using permeable asphalt or some kind of permeable pavement.
Okay, thank you very much. See if I have any more questions on this matter. No, that's it. One last comment. I reserved my own comment. I think it was Jennifer or Joe had asked about how the design of the roundabout would be accomplished. Will there be lighting, reflection? Will the outside of the roundabout be mountable for fire vehicles as well as for passenger vehicles? Will it be a mountable perimeter, or will it be a harder edge?
I see that Anna is ready to answer this question.
Okay, let's go, Anna.
It is a mountable curb. And the way we do the design is that we consider the largest vehicle. We base our design on the largest vehicle that can go through, and those are mountable. There is going to be a mountable curb for the perfect to make the perfect turn around the roundabout.
Like for a garbage truck or a fire truck?
Yes, especially for fire trucks, because that's where we have the Las Virgenes hillside.
Thank you very much. Thanks, staff, for your excellent presentation. Thank my fellow commissioners and fellow residents for drilling down on this to ask some sharp and relevant questions. Thank you. The agenda says we have about 20 minutes left. Let's see if we can hold to that. I know I'm probably the guilty one by asking too many questions, but that's kind of my style. Let's move on to the next item, which is the transit service update. Treya, is that your item?
Yes, I think Heath has a question if you want.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To have him go.
I'm sorry, I didn't see your image didn't show up on the list of on the gallery here. Heath, please.
Hi, thank you, Chair. I just want to make a quick mention to thank the staff for their time on this project. I also want to personally thank Director Robert Yalda, who I believe not only has offered his time to share this with the community and answer any questions, but that particular intersection has been a challenge. I am a resident of the West Side as well. And I just appreciate everybody taking a look at this. And of course, again, back to Robert, being able to take 30 minutes and have a conversation with the residents in this area is fantastic. So we all thank you. And I'll make myself available as well. Thank you, Chair. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Heath. Appreciate your involvement. With that, I'll put us back on target to the transit service update unless there are any further comments. Thank you. Treya, you're up. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I'll be presenting on the our latest transit service update. So as a general background, the city has been running our transportation services since the early 2000s, and we have continued to expand services to meet resident needs. As of January, our fixed route service has had a monthly ridership of 550 riders per month, which is 42% up from last year. And our peak hour lines have a monthly ridership of around 2,500 combined, which is also up drastically from last year. So we're really starting to come back from our COVID numbers. We have had 9 new dial-a-ride applicants since our last TTC meeting, and there are a few transit updates that I have to share for our redesigned shuttles, our trolley and on-demand services, and our fleet electrification. So to start off with, as some of you may have noticed driving around, we have a new look on our shuttles. So Public Works staff helped me decide on what design to go with. We all put together a vote, and this was our final design. The top left image shows the new design next to the old design, and the middle image shows the rear of the vehicle showcasing our Walk to School logo. And so far, we've received a lot of positive feedback on the redesign. At our last TTC meeting, staff presented the idea of a weekend on-demand transit program to replace our trolley program. In January, Council accepted an amendment to approve the amendment to our contract to create this program with dial-a-ride. On February 11th, so 2 weekends ago, we started, or February 11th was the trolley's last day, and February 18th, 2 weekends ago, was when we started the new service. So far, it has been a pretty good success. We've already beat our average ridership of the trolley from the last 4 months in just the last 2 weekends. Staff is investigating more innovative solutions to present to council in April. And here's a quick look at the website for the pilot program. You can find this on the cityofcalabasas.com website and search for the demand response program. It has all of the information, the hours of service, the fees, and then all of our locations outside of the city that you can go to, including the Canoga Orange G Line station, which was recommended by our own TTC chair after he started using our dial-a-ride service last year. And then, of course, you can go anywhere within the city limits. As mentioned before, staff is investigating more innovative on-demand solutions for City Council. The buzzword for this type of service is microtransit. So that's kind of interchangeable on-demand and microtransit. Options we have to investigate include looking at software-only dispatching service or a turnkey software plus vehicle provided. As I'll mention next, it's important for us to start transitioning our fleet to electric. So we will also be looking at solutions for all electric vehicles for the program. Finally, a smartphone app is a must for the community. Preliminarily, staff has met with 8 companies and worked with 3 to provide rider analysis. These analyses will help us determine the best solution for Calabasas riders. And then in April, staff will present our final findings to council for discussion. Electric vehicles are a very hot topic right now and will continue to be one in the world of transit. The California Air Resources Board is requiring all transit agencies to submit a zero-emission vehicle rollout plan by July 1st of this year. This plan must be approved through resolution by City Council. Staff has completed a draft and submitted it to CARB for review, and we will present the final plan to commissioners at the next TTC meeting. In an effort to begin fleet electrification, staff submitted a grant to Metro's Local Transit Systems Subcommittee, also known as LTSS, for the future purchase of 2 electric shuttles and a dual charger. Staff is also working on the SCE buyback program, where they will take our diesel shuttles in exchange for electric vehicles, with opportunities for infrastructure assistance. There are many other grants and programs on the horizon, and staff is working to have this rollout plan finalized in order to focus grant funding opportunities. And then, as always, fiscal impact, our transit program is funded purely by Metro Prop A, Prop C, Measure R, Measure M, local returns, as well as TD3 money. And because state funds are used, we have to abide by all federal regulation, federal and state regulation. And this is an informational item only, and thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Treya. A lot of very exciting things happening, and looking forward to. Anna, are there any members of the public that would like to speak on this topic?
No, sir, I do not see anybody.
Okay.
Oh, wait, my apologies. Mr. Chilko.
Thank you, Joe.
Oops.
There you go.
There you go, Joe.
Hi, thank you very much. I think all the changes in terms of transit are very exciting. And yes, if I didn't mention it before, staff are doing a great job. It's nice to get thanks once in a while. Obviously, we're all on the same team and we all have the same goals. But yeah, it's nice to hear once in a while. I was wondering, in terms of publicizing some of the new exciting things, I've seen a couple of things come across from Michael Russo's group, letting people know, but it's the kind of thing that you really got to hammer away at the beginning to make sure that people are aware of it. So if you don't have plans yet for that, I would suggest you start working on that as well. And thanks very much.
Thank you, Joe. Anna, did I see someone there just a moment ago? Another resident who wanted to speak, but their box has gone away.
No, sir, that was my error. I accidentally hit the wrong participant.
Very good. So my fellow commissioners, anybody have any comments, questions, opinions? Hearing none, let me, I have a few, and I'll tie this to Joe's comment about how do you get the word out. A place where many people from Calabasas populate is the Calabasas Farmers Market. It might be valuable to have some type of informational presentation, something that's noticeable about the new on-demand service. Because I would say most people know about the trolley. Most people have never used it. So if you ask them about the trolley, they would say, oh yes, I know about that, when they don't know it in detail. I think if we had some type of presence at the farmers market, you would get people saying, heck, I didn't know we did that. And it's a way you can get to the farmers market. So that's 1 cent comment onto 2 cents. Second one is, Trey, I was very pleased to see that you're looking at, we're creating an app. One of the things that many of us use to find very valuable when we're engaging a ride with a ride-hailing service like Uber or Lyft is we get to see where the vehicle that is coming toward us is. We know how long it's going to take to arrive. The current dial-a-ride does not have that. It would be valuable for the current dial-a-ride to have that. And with its new newest brother or sister on demand, that it becomes even more important. So as you're talking about apps, that would be a feature, I think, that would help dismay a lot of concerns people have about using it in not knowing where the vehicle is. And last item is more procedural. You mentioned that you'd be going back to council in April. Well, that will occur before our next meeting. And on one hand, on the other hand, you mentioned that you would be presenting to us in our commission meeting the ZEV plan in our April meeting. Our April meeting is not until the 25th. So I would like staff to consider having this commission look at the report that's going to go to council regarding the new transportation services, and as you've already scheduled, the ZEV report. Robert, is that something that's going to be possible?
Mr. Chair, thank you. Actually, that's a great idea. I didn't think about that. The reason we are going back to council, council did ask us to report back on these new ideas. And I believe it'll be very valuable for council that we report to this commission, get the input for public and the commission, then take the report back. I will discuss that with city manager. Hopefully they will be okay with that and we can delay that report to May and have the commission have a full review of the result of our program.
We don't get a lot of innovative, new, exciting things at this commission, except the most important thing is protecting the safety of our residents. This is something that will enhance the lives of our residents who all too often, like myself, are dependent upon their own personal vehicles. Now we're adding a new way of getting around that doesn't require, and we need to make it as easily accessible as, first of all, as work as well in a safe manner, and that it's as easily accessible as possible.
I agree. The only minor problem right now, if you have only two vehicles, is a first come, first serve, and we do allow people to ride share. And first 2 weekends that we did, the report that I'm getting, people from West Side are coming to East Side, for example, from Las Virgenes, they're coming to Commons, and it's good to keep the business within our own city. And we will look into expanding that program as much as we can, pending on the funding and how successful the program will be. I will discuss this matter with city manager. I'm sure he will agree into delaying reporting to council to May, and this commission will have a full report through Treya and ourselves, whatever we have the findings.
Treya, quick, very detailed question. I don't recall how I paid for my ride that I took. I don't know if it's cash or card or both, but it seems really kind of wonky to have a fare that's $2.50 if someone's paying in cash. There's no use of coins anymore. Parking meters don't exist. So anyway, I don't need to respond, just a user perspective. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may, we have one attendee that would wish to speak, Mr. Gary Burns.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much, Gary, for joining us on this matter.
Hi, hi again. Yes, Peter, I thought the same thing when I saw 250. I said, who is going to have 50 cents? It either needs to be $2 or $3.
Yes.
Or a credit card. And of course, anything we do, we want to keep up with the Ubers of the world, but it may not be easy. They have tremendous database systems. It may not be expected that we can do that. But I too, like Joe, wanted to thank all of you, both the commissioners who've been here and all of the new members, for really making this a very interactive and very exciting compared to many of the commissions I've attended in the past. Plus, the Zoom is really clear, which it isn't always on the repeats. So thank you very much. And I'll just go back and say, you know, while you're doing exciting and new things, and Robert, I already sent you an email, so I look forward to getting together. You know, the Pure Water Project is new and exciting. So I would invite any of you to come, and I would be happy to take you on a tour. The water tastes better than regular water. So we're in the midst of, we just voted on a $364 million agreement. We're raising that money now, and over the next 4 years or so, we'll build that project just like Los Angeles is also. So it's going to be very helpful, replacing at this point 25% of the water we use, because of the reduction that everyone has made in the water they use, and hopefully they'll continue to conserve. We will actually be able to buy 25% less water by reusing the water we do have. And of course, also, I'm certain the water that we're saving in the green streets is going to Tapia and being reused as well. So I want to thank you all for doing a really great job, and I'm here to be of help.
Thank you. Gary, can I ask you a favor? Can you connect with Anna Ford to extend the invitation for a tour of the facility? Maybe Anna can ping all of us to make that a group effort. And if it's a group effort, we just have to make sure we're not talking about commission business, according to the Brown Act.
Absolutely.
Okay, and
happy.
if you all thought this was water, now you know why it's an exciting meeting.
It's coffee, and it holds coffee. I have the exact same one, and it can hold it 12 hours, and it's still steaming hot.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Anna, any last minute requests for involvement in this matter?
No, sir.
Okay, let's move to our last agenda item before the division report, which is to form a subcommittee to review student commissioner applications. Robert, is that you or Tatiana or Anna?
I will take that, Mr. Chair. Calabasas Municipal Code outlines the process for Traffic and Transportation Commission to appoint or reappoint a high school student for a non-voting commissioner for a one-year term. The commission currently has a student member who serves on the commission, who is here tonight at the meeting. City clerk this year received several applications from student residents wishing to serve on the commission. And being that commission currently does not have a current alternate student member, staff is presenting the option to the commission to form a subcommittee to interview the applicants so the commission can appoint an alternate student member to the commission.
Thank you. Point of information, Sam, how long are you going to be with us? Are you graduating in June, or are you going to be with us longer than that?
Yeah, I am graduating in June. So yeah, I'll be here for the April meeting, but yeah, not sure how much longer.
Thank you very much. And in composing the subcommittee, Anna, are there any procedural matters that I need to engage on this matter before I poll my commissioners, my
No, sir.
comrades?
Generally, the subcommittee would consist of 2 volunteer commissioners. We then send you the applications. You can review them. You can interview the 2 applicants, and we can appoint the alternate. Once the alternate's appointed, I know once Sam's term expires, or, you know, he graduates as of June, I'm certain we can, we'll most likely get more applicants. And that's generally how it rotates with every school year. So the city clerk will then put a posting out for a welcoming of applications for not only our commission, but other commissions that their student members will be leaving as well. So at that time, if we get more applicants, then we can form another subcommittee to have you all review those and either appoint a student member and another alternate. The only reason being we brought this to the commission was because the 2 student members had put in applications and we only had one, and then we got another. And I thought, well, you know, it's best we don't have an alternate. And sometimes, say Sam can't make it in April, hypothetically for whatnot, we could always get the alternate to just kind of sit in, and then it would give them an idea to see if they are interested and maybe apply for next year. So that's where we're at. And kind of following one of the other commissions actually did it online, and I don't think that would be kind of in the best interest. I think that the students tend to get a little bit more nervous and whatnot, being on Zoom or whatnot. So maybe have the commissioners interview them independently. We can either do it online, I can schedule it, or y'all can come into the office and interview them there.
When does the term of office expire?
Generally, once school's out and once like I said, Sam or the other seniors are graduating, the city clerk's office will tend to put out a notice inviting applications for student commissioners. So at that time, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is there a criteria for the application that the student will be with us next year, or can someone who's going to be graduating in June get that appointment?
It's pretty much up to the commission. It's you're going to look at the individual and their application and see what they're interested in and what clubs and things that are going on in their interests and whatnot. And, some commissioners or some applicants actually check all of them, and some are just more into traffic engineering, and some of them are into parks. And it all depends on who applies and their interest and what commissions they're asking to be considered for.
Thank you, Anna. With that entree, I'll put out a general call for interest for selecting and paneling a two-person subcommittee to choose our alternate student transportation commissioner. All those who are interested in being on this subcommittee, please indicate either through your video or your Zoom hand whether you're interested in being on this commission, on this subcommittee. We got one.
More than happy to do it.
Can someone elaborate? What does it take to do this?
It's like a job interview process. You just interview the student and see what their interests are, and more or less just like a job interview, but it's a appointment interview.
And Anna, you would send out resumes or letters of interest to the subcommittee, right?
Yeah, we actually have the applications, and we have some information that they sent when they emailed in their applications.
And the full commission would act on this at our next meeting in April?
Actually, it would, the commissioners that interview and they look and see which one they feel is the best fit for the alternate, then that individual would be appointed. We would notify them through the city clerk's office, and they would show up at the next meeting.
Thank you. So Jason has nominated himself. Are there any other volunteers? Richard, we're going to close the vote. Okay, Richard and Jason, thank you so much. I think you'll find very exciting meeting these people who have an interesting in such a nerdy topic of transportation. The thing that speaks strongly to me is that they care about our community, and they want to have speak to that in an official capacity. So Anna, will you contact do we need to vote on this matter?
No, that's fine. What I will say is I was a little shocked because, sometimes we get quite a few applications and sometimes we don't. And these two gentlemen or these two students sent them in at a time when, we didn't have any advertisement. So they showed the initiative and they showed that they are interested and they wanted to get involved. So why not?
Very good. Then with that, I'll take the prerogative of the chair to appoint Jason and Richard to our subcommittee. Looking forward to your report. I would imagine you would communicate your first of all, communicate your engagement with Anna Ford, and then you would deliver to her your deliberations for us to consider at our next meeting in April. Correct, Anna?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item are the division report, and Tatiana, you want to roll us through that?
Yes, let me share the screen. Let me know if you see my presentation.
Yes.
Okay. That will be a quick division report. I just would like to give you updates on the current projects. The project that is now in construction, and we touched a little bit on this. This is Mulholland Highway Improvements Phase 1, and this is between two intersections with Old Topanga. And the contractor continues performing multiple construction activities on the project, and the following items have been completed. Timber bridge over the storm drain culvert, that's continuation of the sidewalk on the south side of Mulholland. Installation of gabions and drainage pipes at Wild Walnut Park. Colored concrete curb at the intersection of East Old Topanga Canyon Road was finished. 18-inch pipe, drainage pipe intersection they worked on. And of course, there is more work, and it's just not enough, to show enough time and room here to show pictures for every single one of them. But there's shoulder widening, there are retaining walls, there are guardrails, there are curb ramps. The work is going on. The items that are currently in construction are the median island on Old Topanga Canyon Road by the exit from the high school. Traffic signal work. The electrical subcontractor is working on installation of the conduit, placement of the foundation of the poles. And we're working with a number of utility companies, being Las Virgenes Municipal Water District and Southern California Edison, on different utility work. And expected completion is September, October of this year.
I have a quick question, Tatiana, and I'd encourage my other commissioners to ask points of clarification along the way here. Please remind me where the sidewalk will be. Will it be on going from Old Topanga, Mulholland, going toward Wild Walnut Park? Will the sidewalk be on the left-hand side against the hillside, or will be on the right side along the creek?
The sidewalk will be on the left-hand side. If you can see my cursor, this is the ramp for the future crosswalk across Mulholland. And the sidewalk will start here on the south side of Mulholland, going through this near the traffic signal, and will continue on that side. There will be a retaining wall here, and it will continue and will lead to the Wild Walnut Park. And you can see parts of that sidewalk already constructed.
Will there be a ped head there, a countdown timer for pedestrians to make that, and a pedestrian actuated signal to make that a safe crossing?
It will be a safe crossing with a pedestrian face, yes.
Will there be striping on the road to indicate it as a crosswalk?
Yes.
Thank you.
The next project to give you an update on is the roundabout. Again, another roundabout at the intersection of Muro Road and Calabasas Road. And currently we're at 30% design phase, and you can see this is the conceptual drawing. So it's a lot of landscaping you can see here, and different colors to emphasize the future improvements. And you can see we're working with the consultant right now. You can see our notes. That's our first initial review of this project. So we will, at about 60% design, we will bring it for the presentation and workshop to the commission.
This is an entry to the city for some people.
Yes, it is.
So paying attention to aesthetics is important.
Yes, absolutely. And we actually, the monument sign, like we have at any other entry in the city, will be added to this roundabout.
Great, thank you. Any questions from my fellow commissioners? Thank you, Tatiana.
Another project update is the ADA curb ramp and sidewalk replacement project. If you remember, we completed phase 1 of this. This is a citywide project, but we divided into 2 phases, and we completed the west side of the city And now we're proceeding with the east side of the city. This project consists of replacement of sidewalk panel they have the tripping hazards. Through our inspections, we identify locations, and there's about 300 cubic yards of concrete replacement and the reconstruction of curb ramps, approximately 28, not approximately, exactly 28 curb ramps, some of them near the schools, and the new ramps will comply with ADA standards. And also some diseased trees that were identified for removal will be removed and replaced with better fitted for our climate and location trees. And you can see here the tentative project schedule. We have funding for this project. We already went through the bid advertisement and the bid opening, and council already approved the contract. So we are waiting for the contract to be executed and the contractor to start working on the eastern side of the city. So you will see the contractor working on the sidewalk panels.
And what source of funds are used to pay for this?
There is CDBG funds and ARPA funds. That's the recovery. That's the.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions from other commissioners?
I may have missed this while you were talking. The repair is where? It's in several places. I'm looking.
It's in several places. We divided Calabasas to west and east. So now we're doing it on the east side. Basically, this map shows the location.
Got it. Okay, that's what I thought. That's kind of what I thought. I was looking too hard at it when you were speaking. Okay, sorry.
If I may, I think there is a typo in that tentative project schedule that you have. The bid advertisement, it meant to be December 27, 2022, not 23, right?
It is a typo. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Because I didn't make
Yes.
sense. Okay.
Tatiana has a time machine. She's gonna
Back to the future.
We'll do the project first and advertise it later.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. I
Of
like
course.
that attention to detail.
The next project we're going to do this year is our annual street resurfacing project. And this year we're targeting Park Granada. You can see in the pictures that road needs attention, needs resurfacing. So that's what we will be doing very, very soon. And we will, of course, we're aware of the school schedule, although Park Granada is not really close to any school, but still there is a traffic that we know, going from Calabasas High School. So we will be working with the contractor to make sure they can allocate time to complete it within the time frame.
Yeah, I would say.
Is this a full resurfacing or is it simply a slurry seal of cracks?
It's a full resurfacing.
Thank you.
I now know the term slurry seal. That said, my only comment here would be you've kind of mentioned it already. Park Granada and Park Capri for people coming from the west side going to the west side going to Calabasas High School is a huge thoroughfare. So you've already kind of got it so that it's not going to interfere, but I figured I'd just mention it.
Yes, thank you. The last slide on my division report is, as usual, I'll give you updates on how many requests we received through the Calabasas Connect system, and there were not too many, only 13. With leading street repairs and potholes and sidewalk, curb and gutter repair, which we're addressing with our sidewalk panel replacement project. And this concludes my division report, but I have a bonus presentation tonight, although this item is not on the agenda, but I would like to bring in front of the commissioner this presentation on the recent winter storm events and what our maintenance division, our superintendent and his maintenance crew did in this especially last weekend with this big storm. So there are some pictures of locations and what's been happening like past few days, basically.
Thank you. I think we've all wondering about this. Thank you for reading our minds.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of downed trees, and our crews worked hard to make sure the roads are cleared and there's no blocks on the roads. So you can see there are some leaning trees and some downed trees on different locations. Again, downed trees and McCoy Creek and Las Villas HOA by the tennis courts. There's more in Calabasas Park Estates.
Tatiana, I don't think you're sharing the presentation with the pictures.
Oh.
You're still sharing the old presentation.
Really? I have this new presentation on my screen.
No, you have to go down below and share.
Let me try again. And I apologize. Let me start this presentation and I will share it again. Now I lost my Zoom. Okay, here we go.
That looks right.
Great. I have
Not
it on the
really.
screen. Okay, let's start again. So, well, you can see these pictures at the Association Park and Park Andorra with down trees and leaning trees. There are more trees at McCoy Creek and Las Villas HOA. Calabasas Park Estates, that's how many trees were addressed, the down trees that were cut and removed, and our crew made sure that there's no road blockage, and they were able to, with the tree contractor, to address that immediately. There was another at the Bellagio. It's actually tree went down with a part of the slope. The Vista Point, we had more trees that were trying to block the road. There's the Old Topanga Canyon south of Mulholland Highway. We had this mudslide and the crew was working there. I know only on Saturday, they went there 3 or 4 times to keep cleaning because more mud kept coming down to the roadway. This is the night picture again on Canyon Drive and Mulholland Highway. More pictures at the approximately same area at Dry Canyon Cold Creek. Park Sorrento, there was the storm drain that was catch basin that was clogged from all this debris from the down trees and leaves and heavy rain that just washed everything over that catch basin. Agora Road, bridge over crossing, again, more down trees. Park Ora, mudslide on Park Ora, and you probably, if you drive at that area, you can see the tarp put on the slope there with the sandbags. And more in Parkway Calabasas, Park Helena.
Are there any trees left in the city? There's like all the trees decided to leave.
All the trees decided to leave. Yeah, so much wind and so much water on already saturated ground. We had one bus shelter damaged at Parkway Calabasas and Park Granada. And I just would like to use this opportunity to thank our Public Works maintenance crew for all their hard work. They were there pretty much 24 hours, making sure that it's all clean and safe for our residents.
Thank you very much to the teams that were out there in the road, including the guy who was laying down in the street in his yellow jacket, and to the people who helped direct their attention and provide the resources to get the job done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your words.
Okay, Tatiana or Robert, future agenda items? We talked about one just a moment ago, bringing back the transit innovations topic.
That sounds good.
Your commissioner may get a chance to use the dial-a-ride in the next few days. So I'll give you a update report on its status, and I'll make sure to bring two quarters with me.
You should do that. They have quarters in their cars too. I know that.
Or as I used to say it, quarters.
Sounds good.
Any other items on the agenda? On the future agenda? I'll have one chair prerogative issue, and that is we have 2 rookies on the commission. 3 rookies. Robert or Tatiana, I think it would be very valuable for you to gather Heath, Richard, and Mike, either independently or together. And if they're together, they can't talk about anything that's in front of the commission, to our Traffic Operations Center.
That's a great idea. Actually, next meeting will be in person. City Council decided that all the commission, they should have meeting in person. Instead of dragging them to the city hall, I mean, if they want to, be more than happy to do that, but maybe we can meet half an hour before our TTC meeting, and that will be a good meet and greet and showing the traffic control center and how that functions.
Anna or Robert, so the commission meetings are going to be 100% in person, no remote participation?
That's what council requested, that they want commission and staff to be in person, but the member of public can be via Zoom attending meeting. Now, if there is a commissioner who needs to be at home or has a special need, we can make that arrangement as usual.
Okay.
But they want to do a tryout to see how it's going to work out. But majority of the commissioners reported that they would like to meet in person.
Okay, but still there is an exception opportunity for someone who can participate but can't travel.
Correct.
On that particular day.
That is correct.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
If I may, Commissioner Pasai, did you want to make a comment? Your hand was up.
Yes, I actually.
Sorry, Mike. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. You know, my question is about the future project and proposals that we can bring to the table. Is that a possibility? What's the process to do so? Because if someone has something in mind that wants to share or bring it up for discussion and all that.
We definitely are open to hear the commission comment. Depending on the staff and budget availability, we can look into it and report back.
So typically, Mike, you might nominate something to be considered. Staff would kind of scrub it to identify what knowledge they need to bring to that topic. So it may not be the next meeting in April, but it may be. But thank you very much for advocating for a topic to be considered.
Of course, but how that the topic would be communicated via email or verbally in person?
Robert, you want to answer that?
You can right now recommend the topic, and if there is a second for it, it will be on a future agenda item list. Depending on the staff and budget availability, it will be looked into.
Okay. Okay.
And what about something that might come up between meetings? Is that something we would all communicate to you, Robert, directly, or to Anna, to say that you'd like this topic to be considered?
That will be the best way to do it. Between me and Tatiana, we can make decision. Right now, we are short staff. As you all know, Alba Lemus, our senior engineer, has left the city, and we wish her the best. Dr. Farsadi has retired, and I'm down to one assistant, one associate, and between myself and Tatiana, trying to work the best we can with the consultant. We just advertised the position for senior civil engineer, so we will work things out. Again, if there is a topic that commission would like to ask us to look into it, and as long as it's seconded, we can put it in a future agenda item and do our best to report back.
Very good. Thank you. Mike, does that answer your question about the process?
Yes. And in fact, I don't mind sharing that. I don't know if someone is going to second it or not, but this is a fact that I want to share. It's about a, situation in one of the streets on close to Calabasas High School, Adamsville. It's down the hill, street. I don't know if you guys know where it is, but the cars coming down, they speed so much, and there is no stop sign, no speed bump. Obviously, on the slope, I guess above certain degree, they cannot be slow. One of those, what do you call it? Bumps, speed bumps, to be put there. But we have had incidents here that a couple of the cars have been, completely destroyed, rear-ended, when they were coming down, and mailboxes have been wiped out, because they kind of wear off the main road during past several years. So I was thinking, it before someone really seriously get hurt, it might worth to look into that to see what is it that could be done. Maybe adding a stop sign or whatever, the limitations are with respect to that, if something could be looked at.
Robert, can staff examine this matter and then tell us whether it's worthy of an agenda item for us?
Definitely. Looks like they're seconding the recommendation by Commissioner Mike Pasha. We can do that and report back to the commission.
Any other member, Richard or Keith or Jason, anybody want to second that as a?
I'm more than happy to second it is this a normal, this is a normal procedure? This is the first time we've gone through something like this. Usually this portion of the agenda is just
right.
Yeah, it's fine. Commissioner Prasad made the motion. You can second it if you think it's something that you would like staff to look into. It's not, as far as in between meetings, if there's something that you have as far as an inquiry or whatnot, like Robert had mentioned, you can always email Robert and Tatiana, and it could be something, maybe it's something we're already working on, maybe something that's brought to our attention through council or through the city manager. So, communication as far as email, that's fine. But like now, Commissioner Prasad made the motion, you can second it. And if it's a feasible option, we could put it on the agenda.
Where is the street that you're referring to?
I'm familiar with it. I'll second it. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's
in
on the
Bellwood area.
Adamsville, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Adamsville?
Yes.
Downhill from the below the water tower.
Yes, exactly. That's where it is. It is where the Eddingham, from Mulholland, Eddingham, before you get to high school, you go a little bit up after the roundabout. It's on the right-hand side. It's coming down all the way from up the hill, where city of Calabasas ends actually from water tower up.
Yeah, I've been there too. It is.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we are familiar with that area. We have other residents that requested. We have taken some actions, and we will be more than happy to report back what we have done and why is the limitation of doing of other type of devices that was requested. So I think we are starting a new cycle of hopefully working with the commission, educating them, because at the same time, when you put the speed bump or other stuff, you're limiting the fire engine, ambulance, and sheriff reaching out to our resident. But we can talk about that when it's on agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Robert.
So the chair will, thank you very much for suggesting that, Mike. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Richard,
to adjourn.
Second. Any discussion on the matter? All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry we went overboard, but thank you for a hearty discussion this evening.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
All right,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Good Good night.